Please order at 7:06. Land Dombrowski to lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
The United States of America and the republic
The republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, order. Item 3.
Motion that the retirement board authorize Comptroller Allison W. Bruce to pay a monthly pension in the amount of.
Now let's slow it down. Item 3.
It's not doing more than we approve the minutes of the regular meeting.
Oh, that one. Wrong one. Holy cow, okay. Motion by Burgess that the mayor and Burgess approve the minutes of the regular meeting of December 6th. Each member receives a copy for review.
Second.
All right, any questions or discussion on the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
4.
Motion that the board and mayor and Burgess approve the monthly reports for December. Each member receives copies for review.
Second.
Questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And just to be clear for the record, George is absent, Bob is absent, and Jan is on Zoom, and everyone else is here live. I'm sure Nancy already has that. Okay. Item 5. Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
Motion that the board of mayor.
Well, hold on, no. I'm gonna call the regular retirement, board meeting to order at 7:08 P.M. Item 2. All right, I'll entertain a motion that we accept the minutes of the regular meeting of 11/1/22 without reading. Each member received a copy for review.
Motion.
Second.
All right, any questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You got it, Dorothea?
I got it.
Item 3.
Motion by Burgess that the retirement board authorize Comptroller Allison W. Bruce to pay monthly pension in the amount of $8,354.06 to Mark W. Pedanici, 211 Spring Street, Naugatuck, 06770, per memo dated December 30th, 2022, from Comptroller Allison W. Bruce, effective December 1st, 2022. Years of service have been documented by Comptroller Bruce. Mr. Pedanici was employed by the police department for 20 years, retiring as lieutenant.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
What to Mr. Pedanici? It's not here. It's in the audience, is it?
No.
Okay. Item 4.
Motion that the retirement board meeting be adjourned at
7:09.
7:09.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so I'll reconvene the borough board meeting at 7:09. Yeah. And, first of all, Happy New Year. Glad to see everyone back. Tomorrow, we'll be attending the swearing in of our new state representative, Seth Bronco, and new Senator George Cabrera, followed by the swearing in of the governor, and anyone else who's being sworn in. I've been invited by those three to hold it back. I think tonight, the regular meeting is gonna be, relatively short. We're gonna have a, fairly lengthy executive session, and we are gonna have action coming out of the executive session. I don't know how long the executive session will be. I can say it will be at least an hour, it could be longer. But if anyone, wants a little prediction on what's gonna happen, I predict will be the executive session followed by some motion. So with that, let's go to public comment. Is there anyone, first of all, in the room who would like to address the board? Hearing none, is there anyone in Zoom, on Zoom who would like to address the board? You can go on chat, raise your hand, or make it known, and we'll recognize you. First call, Jim?
Nobody.
All right, second call for public comment. Last call for public comment. Hearing none, we'll move to item 8 and get a brief monthly report from Kyle Kelly.
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. I hope everybody's New Year's going well so far. I did send out the report a little bit later this afternoon, but I have it up on the screen. You should be able to see it now. We're going strong. We closed out a full year now of our changes and what we've been doing. We've made some really good observations and learned a lot over this last year. We did a ton of calls. We did over 5,500 calls for service. We had requested last year, which is almost 1,000 more than the year prior. So there's some numbers on here that show you our busy months and the call volume. You can see the difference between 21 and 22, as well as our busy days of the year and our busy time of the year during the day. Our new ambulance is in service and on the road. I'm sure everyone's seen it. If not, please, feel free to swing by and check it out. It's in service on the road. It's been inspected and outfitted as it should be. Like I said, we've learned a lot this last year, so we're looking forward to the upcoming year to see where we can better improve and continue on our mission and getting the ambulance out the door and providing great service to the community of Naugatuck.
All right, any questions for Kyle or any discussion? All right, thank you, Kyle. We will now move to item 9. The Connecticut Community Challenge Grant Award and the CIF grant. So what I'd like to do now, I'm sure you read in the newspaper that we were successful in our grant application for the Connecticut Community Challenge, which is a program based on merit. And it ties into various aspects of our downtown development plans. Now, what I'd like to do is go to the other map, Jim.
Okay.
And I want to, given that there are lots of things happening, many projects starting at the same time, and a lot of things happening at once, I want to just go through them briefly and then tell you how the Connecticut Community Grant helps us in our downtown projects. Because essentially it allows us to finish our downtown projects. So I'm sure you'll all recall that we started a long time ago. We fought hard for trains. We got 22 trains a day. We have now a reliable train line, and we have the perfect setting for transit-oriented development. And we've got many projects that are now moving forward because of that. The first one is our ARPA project, our infrastructure project, and the project which does several things. But the first thing it does is it really helps the entire storm drainage system on the entire west side of Naugatuck. As most of you know, before we even get to our downtown project, we had a myriad of problems in the downtown area, mostly in the stormwater area, where we have a very old stormwater system that no longer could service the entire west side. So we designed a project with our ARPA money that we all recall, and we met with Kleinfelder, our engineer, and they have designed a project which does a bunch of things. The first thing it does is fix the stormwater problem existing in downtown Naugatuck, but more importantly, prepare for the downtown development project. So as we look at the map, and Jim, if you could put your signal up there on Church Street, and you see a whole bunch of dark lines, that is essentially the new stormwater sanitary sewer line that will correct many of the existing problems in downtown Naugatuck. I'm not going to take you all the way through the stormwater project because it involves a large portion of the west side of Naugatuck. It comes down the hill through the green, and then we find a way to get the water from that area down Church Street, and then you'll see the pipe heading back down, moving lower, Jim, you see the area heading toward the river. So that sort of helps a lot with our existing problems. The lower line that you see on Old Firehouse Road, what this does is it takes some of that water and other water and directs it away from parcel B. So the vacant parcel on the bottom is parcel B. So a lot of that water used to come right through parcel B and go out to the river. And the pump house is there. So what this project does, and this is our ARPA project, it takes all that water and gets it to the river, going down Old Firehouse Road, going down Elm Street, and it prevents that water from coming through parcel B. And now parcel B, from a sanitary sewer standpoint and from a stormwater standpoint, is now ready for development. In addition, our ARPA funding pays for a totally, a reinvigorated, fancy, high-end, I wouldn't say high-end, but complete streets for a revamped Church Street and a revamped Maple Street, and we've seen those plans in the past. So that's our ARPA project. Now, the state of Connecticut is building at their own expense a road that will come into parcel B that was formerly Water Street, and Water Street is now coming back. So Jim, if you go to the bottom of parcel B and you come in right behind Nardelli's, the state is building that road into parcel B, about halfway in, and then they're building it back out to Old Firehouse Road. They're also relocating the train platform, and they are building a train station, and there'll also be bus service in about the middle of parcel B. We also know that Penrose will be developing phase 1 of parcel B that I'll show you on the next map. So if we now go to the next map, what we see is the area in red, with those red dotted lines, that's phase 1 of parcel B. So this, again, the state is coming in, building Water Street. You can see the new train platform on the bottom, the new train station, the parking for the train station, the bus stop. That's essentially a state project. So what did we get when we won the Connecticut Community Challenge? We got really 4 things that we needed to complete this project. Number 1, the Connecticut Community Challenge money will remove the existing pump house that you see, the big structure that's there, and all the underground piping and things, and fill in that big hole. That's number one. Number two, it gives us the money to complete Water Street from the center of parcel B all the way to Rubber Avenue. And then also to build Rubber Avenue going up along the event center, up to the point where our Lotsit project starts. So the other project that will be starting is our Lotsit project that will start from the intersection of Old Firehouse Road and head up Rubber Avenue. So the Connecticut Community Challenge Grant fills in that gap and gives us the funding that we need to complete the road, the Water Street, and the other part of Rubber Avenue. The third thing the grant does is it enables us funding to redo Old Firehouse Road. So we know that we have Church Street done, we have Maple Street done, we have Rubber Avenue done through other projects. The state is building Water Street. We're completing it with the Connecticut Community Challenge money. And we're also getting the money to do a total remake and a complete street of Old Firehouse Road, which will mean all of our downtown streets will be getting a complete makeover. And the last thing that the grant does is it gives us additional funding for, I'm going to say, soil suitability issues. We know that the ground is it has been remediated for the most part. We just completed removing PCBs 2 weeks ago. If you saw a big hole there, that were the final PCBs taken off site. But this will enable us to have extra funds to deal with soil suitability issues and other related issues. So it was a great win for us because it enables us, in essence, to complete the project with state funding and puts us in a much stronger footing and does not require us to use our TIP district funding for this project. And we'll talk about, more about TIP later, but there's just, as I said, there's a lot of moving parts. And I wanted to explain it here because I could see how people would not totally understand it. So I'm going to stop there and just take any questions or comments so far. Mike.
Pete, what's that dotted line in the Naugatuck River
Hold on, Mike.
off the banks?
I recognize Mike Bronco. Mike?
Can you have a copy of this page?
Yes.
Email to me?
Yeah, so, wow.
I can get it to you.
Okay, Jim K will email this page to every Burgess.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you recognize Jan yet?
I'm about
Do you
to.
want a copy of this?
I'm considering the request, and I will now recognize Jan Mazeski.
Thank you. Pete, what was that line in, like, it's like in the middle of the Naugatuck River, those dots going down? And it was more pronounced in the old picture, the picture before this.
Okay, I don't say that again.
There's like a line going down in the river. In the bottom of that picture I'm seeing now from Jim K. And it was more pronounced in the photo before that. What is that?
On the dotted line.
See the black dotted line there? What is that?
That just signifies, what a property ends at the river, so, you know, maybe the river's moved or something, but that's in essence just the edge of the property.
All right. All right. as long as we can still fish through the whole thing.
Yeah,
I have a couple of questions.
Rocky.
The area of Water Street where it's to the side of Nardelli's,
Yep,
where there's parking there now.
yep,
It's not very wide. I'm assuming there won't be any parking there.
there will.
There
So, by the way, the final design is being worked on every month. And, you know, things could change, but for the most part, and I'm sure as you recall, there's, an additional widened, sidewalk dining area, beautified corner. There will be at least, one row of parking left. We may lose one side, but not both. And, the big question, which has not been answered yet, but, you know, the question is gonna become, should that entrance be one way? Which I kind of think it
Might be
probably
a good
will
idea.
wind up that way, but, of course, if it's one way, there's more room for park. But, you know, and all of these plans are not final yet. They're still being refined. You know, we take comments from everyone and, you know, to try and make it better, every step of the way. But that, I would say that intersection is a critical one. And, from a traffic flow standpoint, the one that's gonna provide the biggest challenge. I think, you know, just from, if I were the engineer, I'd be looking at one way. I don't know if there's a better signalization program that, you know, the state is thinking about, but, that's the area of, you know, that'll be a next area for analysis.
It might be a good idea because in the past 3 weeks, there's been like 3 accidents at that intersection.
I'm trying to envision how that's gonna be a.
People trying to get out from the post office and it's tough.
I agree, it's, that's,
Yeah,
I think one way is the best
Yeah.
way to do it.
My other question is, and it might be too early for this, Church Street. Will there be a meeting with the business owners to tell them what the disruption will be, approximate timelines, that kind of thing?
Yes.
That's an easy answer.
Yeah, the issues on Church Street are, by the way, Kleinfelder will be coming back here to discuss it as it moves forward. But, trucks, you know, where they're gonna unload, they have a good plan, but everyone, you know, should comment, and we want it to be the best plan.
Thank you.
Jim K, did you raise your hand?
I did not.
All right, any other questions on the Connecticut Community Challenge Grant? I would just note, I'm gonna switch gears to our CIF grant application. The Connecticut Community Challenge one, we got on our first request, so that's rare and a really good thing and a credit to our team and Danielle, who I think is on the line, but she did a great job with our grant application. So that one is in the books, and we're now moving forward and focusing on the second round of the CIF, Connecticut Investment Fund process, where we submitted our first application, and we did not get it. We got very positive comments, and they have a briefing when you're denied, and you go in and talk so you can regroup. And we're about to send in our second application this week. And we've already been authorized to file it. But what I'd like to do is, just so everyone is up to speed, our new application is improved in 4 ways over our first application. And we feel like we have I want to say the best program in the state, and that it should win on merit. But here is where we've improved it. So when we filed the first time, we were almost the owners. Remember, we were dealing with Tempura, we were scheduling the closing, and it got delayed. And we filed the application, but we filed it before the closing date. Now, the first major improvement to our application is now we are the owners, we have a deed to the property, and it's very clear that nothing can stop us from owning it because we own it. So that's the first improvement to the application. The second one is that we have received our stewardship permit from DEEP. And a stewardship permit basically transfers this from a remediation site to a development site. So we have a permit that enables us to develop the property in accordance with our land use approvals, and we have to manage the soils that we discussed before. So improvement number 2 to our application is we're all permitted to go forward. The third thing is, and we do have on the agenda tonight, that the state wants to see a firm commitment for matching funds. In our last application, we told them that we would meet our match. After executive session tonight, we have a motion that I believe and hopefully will adopt tonight, which says that we're adopting the motion to make a match and vote on that and make it part of our new application. And then the fourth improvement is that we've clarified a little bit some of the questions on road construction versus soil management issues. So I think our last application was fantastic. This one is stronger. We've got our legislative delegation working on this. We had a meeting with them, our 2 state reps and our 2 senators. And I told them that in the next legislative agenda, we have 3 priorities, Andreas. Number 1, CIF application. Number 2, CIF application. Number 3, CIF application. That's what we want. We want our entire legislative delegation to fight as hard as they can for that. And that would really be helpful to the borough. And I think we have a great application. You know, from the state standpoint, we've got some projects that also help the state. You know, we've got a fuel cell project. We have access to an electrical substation. We could help them advance their desire to have data centers in Connecticut. We have a potential anaerobic digester, which will help them with their statewide waste issues. So there's a lot of pluses to this plan, and I feel good about it. And we're going to fight as hard as we can together. So that's the CIF application, and that's our main focus right now is to get that approved. Any questions on CIF? Okay. We'll now go to item 10, townwide sidewalk improvements. So today, the first working day of 2023, our new GIS employee started, and this first project is assisting Fred on our townwide sidewalk project. So right now, internally, we are um, I'm gonna say revisiting and refining our inventory of sidewalks existing in Naugatuck. We're gonna be putting together a list of priorities. And then our town team and engineers are gonna meet with the subcommittee, make sure everyone's on the same page. We're gonna decide which part of Naugatuck to attack first. We're gonna see what it's gonna cost. We're gonna put the money in the budget, and we're gonna begin our sidewalk improvement project. So who's on the subcommittee? Charlie, and Mike, and Bob, I think? Okay, so, we're getting a lot of the groundwork done, and then we will, just move forward with it. I think the path to a long-term solution, will become much clearer in the next couple of months. Any thoughts on sidewalks? All right. So now we have to adopt our 2023 meeting schedule. Does everyone have it? Are we all good with it? I think there's been a couple of minor changes because of holidays and things. We're all good?
So executive sessions are gonna be at 5:30 now? Is that,
Well, I didn't look at the schedule.
It's not realistic.
What does it say?
it says 5:30 PM executive session, 7 PM general meeting.
Well, you might be here at 5:30, but I'll be here at 7. so-
Okay.
I think that was a carryover. from-
So that's gotta be fixed, Pete.
No, may I speak, Mayor?
Nancy,
Yeah, so I just did that. That's what we used to do before COVID. And I left that in there for you, up to your discretion if you wanted to change executive session prior to the.
let's
But
start.
we will,
I would suggest
noted.
that we start all the meetings at 7. And if we
Right.
want to do an earlier executive session, we'll do either a special meeting or we'll do it at the beginning or early in the meeting. But I think doing it at 5:30 is more difficult for the Burgesses. So I think we're better off with 7.
yeah, this is not that you have to do it at 5:30. This was always giving you that discretion if you wanted to without it being a special meeting.
I
So you
can't-
can continue to do what you're doing.
I can't really hear you, but the bottom line is, we're gonna adopt the dates for the 2023 schedule with a starting time of 7 PM for all meetings. So we're all good with that?
Yes.
All right, so can I
Yep.
have a motion to that effect?
I make a motion that we adopt the schedule as noted with starting time of meetings for 7.
Second.
So
All right, we have
moved.
a motion and a second. Any discussion? Nancy, you're good with that?
Yes, I am. Yes.
All right, all those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. All right, so here we go, item 12. Dorothy,
Motion that the board of mayor or Burgess approve the appointment of Elma Solomon D, 228 Crestwood Drive, Naugatuck, 06770, as an alternate member of the Board of Finance, filling the expired term of N. Ishcott, term to expire June 1st, 2025.
Second.
all right, so Nicole is now a regular member and almost gonna take her spot, and she's got a finance background, so I'm looking forward to working with her.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
When did Nicole move into a regular member?
When?
Yeah, doesn't that have to be,
We voted on
we did?
it. She's been a regular member for, I mean, I don't know, but over 6 months,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. June.
June,
Okay.
how about that? Almost exactly.
So let me ask a question. She's never been through a budget yet, right?
Who? The call comes to virtually every meeting. I don't, Jan?
I'm sorry, I just don't know her. So,
Yeah, she was, on almost all the Zoom meetings, as an alternate. She was very attentive and
Nicole,
asked the
yeah.
questions, yeah.
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 I think he was talking about Alma.
Elba's brand new. She's an alternate. I'll speak on behalf of Elba is a fantastic mathematician. Strong financial background, taught at least the community college level for many years. And I'm gonna tell you, a shrewd individual when it comes to looking at numbers. Kind of person you want on the finance board. She will ask good questions. She will ask hard questions. She'll be a good addition.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
abstain.
We have one abstention.
I'll also abstain.
What?
I'll also abstain.
You're gonna abstain?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, normally people would abstain if they have a conflict, but, you want to abstain? Can abstain. So note that for the record, Nancy. All right, item 13.
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess waive the bid for contract fiscal year 23B009 for turf maintenance materials to Turf Product Corporation, Department 590, P O Box 4110, Woodburn, Mass. 01888 4110 for fiscal year 22 to 23, as recommended by the Public Works Director, Jim Stewart.
Second.
All right, Jim, are you out there?
I'm out here. So at this time of year, the golf course and the Parks Department work on their equipment, and Turf Products is the Toro dealer. So they buy their parts to repair their equipment and service their equipment in the winter. And we've found that they were neglected to be added on our original list. They didn't submit a bid for parts. So we're asking that we waive and be allowed to buy them from them. And as I said, they are the only Toro dealer in the area.
All right. Anyone have a question or comment? Yeah, is this, I know you and I spoke earlier, about some issues between the $1,000 and $5,000 range. Is this that issue?
Exactly. What we've done in the past is we've obviously we go to bid, and then we look at those vendors we need, and we work with the finance department to try to come up with a list that's reasonable in length. And in this case, last year, I believe the amount we needed from Turf Products fell below. Well, it was well below $5,000 at the time, so they didn't think we needed them. And this time around, it's going to be above $1,000. It's still going to be well below 5,000, but that puts us into a situation where we need to get quotes, and getting quotes from other Toro dealers is problematic apparently.
All right, I would just say that if there are any other matters that fall into this category, rather than dealing with them one by one, you present them all to us at the same time, okay?
We will give that our best shot.
All right, any further questions? Item 13, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 14.
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess authorize Controller Allison W. Bruce to refund the following tax refunds approved by tax collector James Goggin as if read.
Second.
Question. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Public comment. Second, public comment. Anyone in the audience? Anyone on Zoom? If you'd like to speak, raise your hand, go in the chat box, or otherwise make it known that you'd like to speak. I don't know what that means. What does that mean, Jake? When I say otherwise make it known, what could they do?
They can raise their hand
Or go in the chat box?
or go in the chat box.
That's it, right?
That's about it. Anything else that they do, we can't sit on.
Well, unless they're on the screen waving.
That's only Jan.
All right.
That's fine.
Oh, come on, give me a break, will you please? I've been through hell today. Give me a, go on.
All right, so, first call for public comment.
We have one, Lori Jackson. Go ahead, Laura.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, Lori, how you doing?
Hi, Larry.
Hi, how are you all? I'm just going on to say hello, Happy New Year all. And I wanted to come on to a meeting to wish you all Happy New Year and to get back in the loop to see what's going on in the town.
All right,
Thank you.
welcome aboard. Happy New Year to you.
All right, so I'm gonna start listening, see what's going on. Have a good year.
Okay. All right, any, other public comment?
No.
Second call, last call, public comment. Okay. Burgess comments. So we have two absences. So I'm gonna start in Zoom land tonight and go straight to Minnesota Vikings fan Jan Misuk.
No, it's not.
Is all the rambling about that last game gone now, by the way? While I'm talking. I wish you all a happy new year and I hope you had good holidays. I actually got good news today up at UConn when I was in this amazing MRI machine this morning where they put earplugs in your ears and they said, what kind of music do you like? And they put it in there too. But the MRI was still doing louder, but it was a lot of fun. I was up at UConn Health Center all day.
Yanni.
Huh? Who's talking about Yanni? There's no Yanni. But anyway, the prognosis is good. So I got my choice. We'll see what happens. And Happy New Year for all. And let's have a good year in August. That's the main thing.
All right, thank you, Jan. We're glad you're well and good luck to your team. Charles.
Happy New Year to all. Nothing to report from any of the committees I meet with. They did not have meetings this month, so we're all good.
All right, Dorothy.
Same thing. Happy New Year. I have nothing to report at this time, but they all take place next week.
Okay, Grant. Nice to see you all back safe and sound. All right. Mike. We're on a roll here. Megan, don't mess it up.
I won't. Happy New Year, everyone. I've got nothing.
Okay, Rocky.
Just gotta keep saying ourselves over and over, right, 23. And we'll get there. Historical Society is open and if anybody would like to go, take a look at the Facebook page or their webpage. It'll tell you the hours, or you can always call and things can be arranged to take a look. There's gonna be more exhibits being moved from the event center by probably next month. So everything will be there, exhibits will be changing, and the place is looking absolutely great, so stop by and take a look. Lots been done. Also, Chad Donnie is gonna get the Louis A. Dibble Award from the Chamber on Thursday, the 19th, very well deserved. This is the 101st annual meeting, and I think Ron's made them all. Oh, okay. That's it.
Hey, Rocky, do you know if the Historical Society has a map of Naugatuck from 1877?
Not that I know of, but it may.
Doniston just published it last night
Oh, no kidding.
for the comments and chat.
I'll find out.
They published,
Like the 1877 map of Naugatuck.
Oh, Ken, you know?
Yes. We have the bird's eye house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, I think that's the one they put out there. Because I follow their chat site too for all the historical stuff.
That's it.
okay. All right, we're gonna go to item 17, inviting into executive session, Tommy Hyde and Ron Pugliese. Dorothy.
Motion to recess to executive session at 7:52 for discussion on the following real estate parcels A, B, C, Y, Z. Naugatuck Industrial Park, Section 3, Greenfield, acquisition of land for downtown parking, tax incremental financing district, Church Street, Maple Street, collective bargaining, police union, fire union, and pending litigation, inviting in Tom Hyde and Ron Pugliese.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so. We're gonna reconvene the meeting at 9:10. And we will first take up the addendum, to the regular meeting, and we'll go with, item 1, Dorothy.
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess add to the agenda a motion regarding the discretionary grant funding program for the Community Investment Fund 2030.
Second.
All those in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Opposed? 2.
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess authorize Mayor N.W. Warren Pete Hess to sign a municipal certification of eligibility for discretionary state funding through the discretionary grant funding program for the Community Investment Fund 2030.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. We will now turn to the post-executive session motions. And we will start with item 18.
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess adopt the following municipal resolution in support of Naugatuck Industrial Park Phase 3 as if read.
Second.
All right. So this is the motion, where, I think we were talking in the beginning of the meeting about our CIF application, for funding for our industrial park project. And this motion is required in essence for us to confirm that we will meet our 40% match if we obtain funding for the project through the CIF. Any questions or discussion? Roll call vote. Grant. Dorothy.
Yay.
Charlie.
Yay.
Jan. Jan. We'll come back. Rocky.
Yep.
Affirmative.
Megan.
Okay.
Mike.
Yes.
Mary, yes. Jan.
Jay, can you hear us?
Jan, can you hear us?
Jan, stroke your beard.
I
please.
can now. Yes.
Are you in favor of this motion?
Yes, I am in favor of that motion, Pete.
Okay, we have a unanimous
Oh,
roll
can't breathe.
call vote on item 18. All right, 19.
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess authorize Mayor Hess to enter into a fixed assessment agreement with Corvus Capital Partners as discussed in executive session.
Second.
All right, so in executive session, we've discussed this in detail. And we have agreed that, in this project, we will accept, $1,800 per unit as the, basis for a tax incentive agreement. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So,
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess authorize mayor has to enter into a fixed assessment agreement and modification to the development agreement with Penrose as discussed in the executive session.
Second.
all right, so on this matter, we discussed a fixed assessment agreement with Penrose that would, be at $1,800 per unit for their market rate units and $800 per unit for their affordable units, with an annual escalation of 3%. And we also, confirmed that we would utilize, $300,000 of our, funding for this project to assist Penrose with, oil-related issues. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 21.
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess authorize mayor has to issue an RFP to solicit proposals for the development of Greenfield as discussed in executive session.
Second.
All right, on this matter, we also discussed several times. We will be, seeking proposals for, Greenfield, for the development of Greenfield, as set forth in the RFP. We will be disseminating it broadly, and, we also recognize that, Greenfield North will be delayed until such time as we find a substitute field to replace Greenfield North. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 22.
Motion that the Board of Mayor and Burgess authorize mayor has to enter into a letter of intent with international framers as discussed in executive session.
Second.
Okay, so in this matter, we're talking about the land that used to be the parking area on the upper portion of Elm Street, approximately 6 acres. We currently leased it for storage of lumber. We will be working out a letter of intent to sell the land to international framers. And we will finalize details as discussed in executive session. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I do not believe we have any other matters coming from executive session. Did I miss anything, Rock?
No. We're good.
All right, item 24,
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
8:20, 9:20.